started. Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to Sunday Night Team Zoom. I'm hoping we'll get some more people on. I know it's a super fun, busy Memorial Day weekend. People have things going on. But I'm super excited because at least you'll be able to catch the recording if you're not watching live. And Tammy is awesome. So this is going to be good. We've had Tammy on our Sunday Night Team Zoom before in the past, but I asked her to do it again because, well, she's killing it. And she just went Presidential Diamond. So I cannot wait myself to hear more about that. I did hear your Show Me the Money call. So that was amazing and full of awesome stuff, but I can't wait for my team to personally hear you talk about your journey a little bit. So you guys, we do these every single Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So always plug into these, tell your team to plug into these. And then just a couple quick things. We still have our boom contest going in the cover photo. I just launched a flash contest today. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's a flash contest. It has a cleanse and those super cute sunglasses or glasses in them if you don't know what I'm talking about. So flash contest, we've got our boom contest still, and then I will be doing a couple of drawings for that probably tomorrow and announcing the winner for the online party check-ins sometime tomorrow. So anyway, now that that's out of the way. All right, so Tammy, can you just start? I know a lot of people on here, I don't think have heard your story or know who you are. So tell us who you are, how long you've been in, all that good stuff. And I'll mute myself.
Okay, so hey guys, I am Tammy, and Kim and I have become good friends throughout this journey. I have been in for 5.5 years. It'll be 6 years later this summer. And my journey has been an interesting one, just like a lot of you guys. You have the ups and downs throughout the business, and the key is, I haven't ever given up throughout all that. So and I'm from West Michigan, same area as Kim. We do One Team, One Missions and stuff together, or triads now. So basically I started 5.5 years ago because I had just, I had finished my MBA. So I went to school while I was working full time and got my master's degree, and decided that I wanted to work in corporate America, and racked up a crap ton of student loans in the meantime. So I was looking for a job with my MBA for over 2 years, and I could not find a job. Like, I was networking with everybody and could not find anything. And really at that time, it was almost 7 years ago, there was a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening in the healthcare industry, and that's where I worked for 10 years. I was an exercise physiologist. I worked in cardiology in a hospital system, but I was maxed out at my pay rate. I could not make more money than what I was making, and I was only like 28, 29 years old. So I was like, I got to do something else. I went for my MBA thinking I'd be super marketable, and finished and racked up all this student loan debt and could not find a job. So needless to say, I was looking, for 2.5 years, and kept watching on social media my cousin killing it in this network marketing business. And I've never done network marketing besides something my dad had gotten me into back in the day, and I didn't really work the business. I just did it to help him out, kind of a thing, and I didn't really see any sort of lucrative want or need to be part of something like that. But I saw my cousin doing really well, and she was posting about working from anywhere, and she bought a Land Rover with cash and all this stuff, and I was like, what the heck is she doing? How is this possible? I just finished my MBA, and I'm being told I could make 6 figures a year with this, and I can't even find a job. And she's working from the beach and doing all this stuff and making tons of money, way more than I was, way more than my doctor friends were. So I just got to the point where one day I was like, I'm sick of this. I don't want to keep living like this. And now I have to start paying my student loan payment back, which was $800 a month. And I was like, I either have to find a part-time job on top of a full-time job, where my husband at the time worked second shift and I worked first shift, and we had a 2-year-old little boy. So it was we barely even saw each other during the week as it was. If I were to try to go do another job, I'd have to find a place to put my son. And then it was just it was just such a mess. So God was speaking to me through my dad, who had passed away actually when I was 35 weeks pregnant with my son. And he just, every night I was like, I kept getting this in my head, like, call Stephanie, get a hold of her. Like, she's got the answer to what you need. So one day I just was like, I'd had it, and I'm like, I'm going to call Stephanie. To my husband as he was leaving to go to work. I signed up on the phone with her within a half hour. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what I was going to get myself into, like no clue. But I started, and I just had that vision of wanting to make $800 a month. And, just got my charts out and got to work. And, we built a lot on, within my first 10 days, I signed my sister up. And I just said, we're going to work on this together. And so we did a lot of vendor events and a lot of shows and stuff, because we had a very close friends and family. We had a lot of the same people and network, and they were not supportive of us at all. Like, they were not willing to do parties for us. They were not willing to try products for us as a product tester or a loyal customer. We literally exhausted our warm market within our first 30 to 60 days in the business. We had no one else to reach out to. We were begging friends and family to do parties for us. So, I came crying to Steph, and she's like, you should just, but if you don't know, Stephanie Dunn is my cousin. So, she obviously knows what to do. I just kind of came crying to her and was like, I don't think I'm going to make this. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. No one is wanting to buy anything. And she's like, you need to reach out to people outside of your friends and family. So I did. I started reaching out to, doing trade shows and mom-to-mom sales and expos and vendor events, things like that. And that's really how we started growing our business. We booked parties off of a lot of those and went and did parties for strangers. And it worked really well. And we were signing customers and signing distributors and growing our team that way. And again, over the past 5.5 years, there's been ups and downs for sure in the business. I grew pretty quickly. I grew to double diamond in 10 months. And then I was able to quit my full-time job after that. And then after that, it was kind of like I sat at double diamond for probably a year and a half. And I went triple just before my 3rd anniversary, and took about 2.5, almost 3 years until I just hit my recent rank of presidential. And lots of changes and movements and ups and downs over those, years as well.
Well, and Mara, she did a really great Zoom. I'll have to send you that one about vendor events. Tammy's been on our Zoom before, and she literally did a whole Zoom about vendor events. So I'll have to.
Yeah,
that was a good one, Mara. So I'll have to send it to you. But yeah, I love that you've been doing this now for 5.5 years, like me. So I'm going to ask you a question that I'm excited because we've had so much change.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much change. So I promoted to triple through basically parties and Facebook. So now it's not really like that, where you were vendor events and social media. And so I'm glad you mentioned Stephanie Dunn, because yeah, you guys, she's cousins with the #1 income earner. But what I love about her story is that Tammy joined skeptical like anybody else. Tammy has not been given a freaking thing. Obviously, I know myself that Stephanie's not even that way, and I'm not even on her team. But I love that you've done this with that guidance, but you've done it just like any of us on this Zoom tonight. So now that's what I wanted to talk about too, is because a lot's changed in 5.5 years. So you went triple with lots of vendor events and all that good stuff. Now, and you probably did work some of those in for Prez, I'm not sure, but can you tell us why, can you go grab my glass off the table? Sorry, Joe just walked in. Can you tell us what it looked like to go from triple to presidential? And what I'm obsessed with, honestly, is that you didn't do it overnight. Because, hi, that's me. But also, it shows that I love that you still stuck around and you didn't, you did it. You didn't give up. You didn't say, never mind, I didn't do it quickly. I'm not doing it, the next month or anything, or even the next year. So can you tell us about your journey from triple to Prez and what it looked like and why you knew, I guess, to keep going?
Yeah. So Well, obviously, like I said earlier, my sister was one of my legs, and I really tried to focus strongly on her. For me to go triple, I needed two, back then we needed 5 legs. So I got my husband to diamond. That fell apart completely, like completely fell apart within months after my promotion to triple. And then my sister's leg kind of fell apart as well. She just lost some workers and different things on her team. So her leg was crumbling. And then I had another strong leg, a girl like 11 levels down in my team, in my downline, one leg just, I lost a whole bunch of leaders, like a triple diamond, and some doubles and diamonds. They all left for another company. That was when there was a lot of that movement going on.
Yep.
So it was kind of like at that point, it was all happening at once. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can't even think about pulling out a presidential chart at this point. I'm literally in like rescue mode. I'm literally just like, I need to strengthen my team. I need to help my team. I need to work with everybody. I have 6 legs across and I'm trying to scramble to, like, you're only one person. Like, what do you do? Just trying to pour into them and help and build my own business as well. Like bringing in that new blood was huge. I mean, just constantly you want to help the people that are working, but you also need to continuously bring that new blood in. And that's key too. That was kind of my turning point from being at triple for so long. I was just in that, pouring into downline legs in specific legs that I wanted to be strong in order for me to even get myself ready to go presidential. I needed to get at least 2 legs really, really solid. So I kind of picked, and poured into my sister's leg and into another leg of mine who they were pretty strong to begin with, but it strengthened them even more. And then I was like, after conference and they announced 3 legs and it was just like, oh my gosh, like at that point I had to decide, do I want to work with, like, what leg do I want to work with? Basically, do I want to rebuild my husband's diamond that I had not been paying attention to forever? Or do I want to, work with another leg that had been in for a very long time, been very loyal, and then, just kind of take off with them and work with them. Sorry, it's getting dark out and I'm going to turn a light on here.
I'm in a bedroom trapped. You're fine.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I kind of decided to just kind of have a powwow with a couple different legs and say, who wants this? Like, I need to know who wants to go diamond. And I'm willing to work with you. I'm not doing the work for you, but I'm willing to work with you and help you if you're willing to put the work in as well. So it was kind of like, whatever you do, I'm going to match your efforts type of a thing. And that was where it was just like, it just took off because, they realized going diamond too, it was only 3 legs versus 5. And it was just it seemed so much more doable. My gosh, 15 boxes versus 25, So it was like, let's do this. Like, this is as close as you've been in a long time, obviously now with the announcements being made. And it was just like, I ended up working with another person outside of my husband's leg. It was a different person on my team, on my top line. And she actually was like 7 levels down in my business, and all the people in between us canceled. So she was basically on my top line, and she's been loyal and has been showing up to everything. And I'm like, I want to help you. Like, I want you to earn this $10,000 bonus, So it was just like, we just kind of connected and just constant communication. But what really got us to explode. So basically I was nowhere near, it was like we literally built a diamond between conference and when I promoted merch there. It was like probably 45 to 60 days that we went from like distributor to diamond in that leg. And it was hugely due to host to post. We were doing host to post like crazy, signing tons of customers and distributors. And it, again, like changing the ways of doing things. I never did host to post before. I never built my business that way. But you know what? You have to, when it comes to this type of business, you have to roll with the punches and you have to adapt to change. This business and social media is ever changing. It is ever waxing and waning and ups and downs. And you just kind of have to roll with it and be willing to adjust to those changes. And if you do, and if you go with like, okay, I hear that Host to Post is working well. How do I do it? I did a Zoom with one of my girlfriends. I don't know if you guys know who they are, Amanda and Amy Trin. They're twin sisters. They're out of Philadelphia area. Amy signs like on average 60 customers a month doing Host to Post. And so I did a Zoom for our team and said, hey, like, will you explain to us what you do? She gave us the scripts and everything that she used. And I copied it. I just did what she did and started messaging like crazy. And I never really, like, to be honest, I never really messaged on my Facebook. I did a ton of messaging on Instagram, but I never really focused messaging on Facebook. And that really changed the graph for me because I guess maybe it was more of an untapped market because I hadn't really accessed sending people messages for something for my business in 5+ years. I mean, I messaged people, but not like mass messaging, pushing out, like asking somebody to share a post on their wall for me. And that's really what turned it over. I mean, I signed so many people doing that, and I was teaching my team to do the same thing.
Man, okay. So for those of you that didn't hear, I love that you pulled people from under you, not pulled them out, not pulled them and pulled them along. Like you kind of went through the sticks and the leaves and you were like, okay, who's ready? So keynote there, you guys, stop trying to make people work. Okay. If people don't want this, it's totally fine. You find the people that do. And I think people get so butthurt when people aren't working as hard as them, they're not working as hard as them. And when lo and behold, this isn't for every person, this isn't in their future for, some people it's just not on their road. So I love that you just sat down and were like, okay, who should I be working with? Who is this going to be fun to build with? Not who am I going to be dragging, alongside me? No, who is it going to be fun to actually work with? And I've had those conversations with people. I've had to pull people and say, listen, do you want this or no? Because I'm doing the damn thing. So do you want to or no? And you find your people that are like, yes, I want to. You find those people, and it's a lot more fun to run with people who want to do this, who are willing to actually match your efforts. Like you said, it's so much more fun. And so that's huge. I love that tip. So you guys find your runners. And if you don't have any yet, you will. If you, like she said, are enrolling every single month. A lot of us like to say, okay, we had a really great month, especially when you're new. You think, okay, I had a really great month. Now I'm going to ride on that for a couple months. No, no, that's not the case. I mean, huh?
I said, big mistake.
Big mistake. I remember, yes, I went diamond and I was like, I did it. Okay, cool. I'm going to work with this group of people for the next 10 years. No, they weren't even with me for the next 10 days. You guys have to be enrolling. That's why they've come out with the steps to success. With network marketing, that is a thing. You enroll every month. And what's cool is I enrolled Kaylee 3.5 years ago, and she's still here with me. Yep. Okay, she's one of my diamonds in the rough, but you're going to have people who start and quit that same week. But what I love is another leader, I can't remember who it was, but they said, this is going to sound bad. I'm not meaning it to sound bad. What's cool though is when you're enrolling new blood every month, you could have people stick around though for a good 3 to 6 months. And that's huge for your business. That's huge for your business. That's huge for the volume they bring in, even if it is temporary. That's what this is. And amongst all of that, you're finding your next diamond, you're finding your next double and your rock star. So I love that. Enroll new people every month, run with your runners, and do the things that other people are doing and it's working. Host to Post for me. I'll never forget Rachel Jones talking about it. Yeah. I was like, what is Host to Post? And no. It's working for you, but this cannot be a thing. And exactly 1 year ago, I started using it and I'm like, oh, this is pretty incredible. So exactly, you have to be willing to grow with what's changing. And this world is constantly changing. I mean, trends, the way people just do their stories now are so much different. So it's just crazy what can happen when you're willing to get outside of your comfort zone a little, do things that you're not used to doing. And so that's awesome. I know that presidential was a lot of work because presidential is, but when you put it like that, you make it sound so simple. Because if you're doing just the things that work, I mean, it is simple. But I'm not saying it's not work, but you get what I mean. So that's huge. Any other things about presidential?
Well, one thing I do want to say is when I was scoping out who I was going to be working with, I really put a lot of emphasis on people who actually show up to things, showing up to events. So this girl that I focused on to run with to Diamond, and she received a Diamond paycheck and a $10,000 bonus, was largely because she went to conference and had team at conference. And she showed up with her team, and she wasn't seriously like a hugely mass producer at that time, but she has been loyal. She's shown up year after year after year, plugged in year after year after year, and I know she's a lifer. So for me, with so much movement in my business and so many people leaving that I thought might be lifers, like for other companies and things like that, I'm looking for somebody who is a lifer. Like I am looking to help somebody build to a leadership level that I know is in it for the long haul. So like, I mean, of course they have to put in the work. You're not going to just get there because you show up to things, but that's just huge in my mind. Like I show up to everything. I always have. And so it's like, unless I have something else going on, I am there. So it's like, that's just a big deal for me. And I know it is for Stephanie too. Like she and Joel really put a lot of emphasis on who shows up, and you don't get their time if you're not showing up to things. And I kind of have, because I've been treated that way, I treat my team that way. Like I'm going to give you time if you show up to things. But if you're just MIA and you're never around, I'm not going to focus on you to be a strong leg in my business if you don't ever, I never see your face anywhere, So like you guys on this Zoom, you're here, you're showing up. Like that's a huge, huge credit to you. That's going to get you far in this business by just plugging in and being there and showing your leader that you're in it. Like we watch, we keep an eye on these things, and that's who we're going to be focusing on, to grow our business. So that I did want to add that because that was a huge part in why I decided to run with like that particular person, because it was kind of like I had like 3 different legs to choose from, like who do I work with? And that's why I decided, instead of building my husband back to Diamond, I wanted to focus on helping this girl who's been in for so long, because she's just proven that her loyalty and that she's there,
I'm so glad you talked about that. I'm so glad you talked, because that's like one of my biggest, I mean, my team knows, like, I'm the same. If you don't show up, girl, don't get in my inbox asking me questions that we've gone over every Sunday team Zoom. Don't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've had someone just recently, they were like, hey, okay, millions of questions, I want to go Ruby. I'm like, listen, first thing you got to do is actually show up to something. You're not learning anything because you're not willing to plug in. And it's the same thing. And yes, I'll take the time to voice message you and get on a call with you. I'm not saying that everything needs to be on Zooms, but you haven't plugged into one thing. And so it's just like when you're going to work at, like, let's say you get a job at a gas station. 2 weeks later, you're asking for a paycheck, and they're like, Kim, you've never shown up to one shift. What? I don't know how you expect a paycheck. Like, same exact thing. So when I first started, I mean, I have run this. I know you guys are probably sick of me saying this, but I have run out of gas on the way to events. Like, because there's first of all, I'm a blue, so I love being where the people are. But like, also, I knew that I didn't know what I was doing. So who else am I going to learn from besides the people that are doing it, that are doing well at it? And conference is a game changer. So no wonder your girl is still on fire for this business. Like, conference is a game changer. So quick plug for conference. Get there. Tickets will probably be out in October. But we also have a Try It event coming up in Lansing, Michigan. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to remind the team, like, in Lansing, we have a Try It event coming up June 18th. So get there. We do not host these things. Tammy and I have hosted a Try It event together. Morgan and I with Tammy. We don't do these things because we're like, we have nothing better to do with our night. So we're just going to, no, we do these so that you guys can learn from leaders. You know, it was so cool hearing Stephanie and Joel talk on the panel that night. I mean, I've known them now 5.5 years, but still hearing their tips and how they've grown in these ever-changing like times is still so amazing. And then these Triad events are so great for guests. Like, we grow your business with you, and that's the best part. So yes, you show up, you go up, period. Like, so does your paycheck. So I love that you mentioned that. And it's how I figure out, like, who am I going to work with? I see your face, I'm excited to talk to you. But if I don't, I'm like, wait, what? Haven't even seen you on one thing, and you've been in for like 3 months. So I love that. I love that. So tell us now, you went presidential, what month was it?
March 30th, or March, not 30th, the end of that month.
Yeah, March. Okay. So, and you earned the what bonus?
The $25,000.
That's what I thought. Okay. I posted that on my team page. I'm like, I hope I'm not right. I'm trying to memorize these. I still can never memorize these bonuses, but
They're all changing.
I know. And so you earned a $25,000 bonus. What did it, I know you kind of talked about it on the Show Me the Money, but like, did you poop your pants when you saw your paycheck? Were you like, finally, this is what I was working towards?
That was more my thought. Like, I know Pam said something along those lines too. Like, what did you think? And I was like, honestly, I was like, it's about time.
Yep.
Like, I was so ready. I felt like, you know, when you're a brand new distributor, same thing. You feel like you're working so hard and your paycheck is not reflecting it. Mm-hmm. But it's like, eventually that's going to happen. It just takes some time. And sometimes it will take 5 years. Yeah. I mean, for us, like, to get, for the amount of work we put in, especially as leaders and stuff too, it's like, you just feel like you're nonstop. I mean, I don't take a day off of working my business. I am always doing something for my business, like, or my team, or anything. I'm just always, my mind is always on my business. Mm-hmm. So it's like, sometimes you feel like, man, I don't feel like I'm getting what I should be getting out of this. But I mean, when I hit that and got that bonus and everything, my mindset, my husband and I already talked about it. We're working on paying off all of our debt right now. Mm-hmm. So we just redid our house, and we repainted, and we did our kitchen and all that kind of stuff. We cash flowed all of it. Knowing that I was working towards presidential. And I said, once I hit presidential, my entire bonus and then some is going to go towards debt. So like, I was excited about my increase in pay, but I also that's not my money that I'm spending. Like, that money is all going towards my debt. So, like, I'm not going out. I mean, look at me. I'm Hot Mess Express. Like, I'm not going out and buying, like, all new wardrobe and, like, new purses and Louis Vuittons and, like, fancy clothes and, like, gallivanting around and traveling the world right now. Right now, I'm literally focused on, I'm thanking God for my blessings that I have right now, and using the money that he's providing for me through my hard work and loyalty to this company to pay off the debt, so that in turn, down the road, I can give and live like no one else, you know? So that's kind of the thing, is like, I'm really trying to stay down to earth, and like, really, like, I don't like to showcase like myself throwing around money or anything like that, because we're not doing that. Like, and I mean, I talked to Pam about that on the Show Me the Money call. I'm like, I remember you saying, like, you had this multi-million-dollar company and you were living in the same 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranch style house. You did not have fancy cars. From the outside looking in, you did not have the money that you had. And she's like, exactly. We paid off all of our debt first, and then we saved and we saved and we saved. And all of a sudden, before you know it, we bought a huge multi-million-dollar mansion on the ocean in Florida. And everybody was like, you know, like, did not see it coming. And honestly, that's how I want to be. I want to be that person that just lives under the radar for like years. Maybe it might take me years, you know, to get all the debt paid off and get the income set up and invest and do everything like that. I mean, and you have your plan. You have whatever, you know, figure out your plan and just go for it. And don't worry about what other people think about you. You know, you just gotta, you have your own goals and dreams, and you're doing what you're doing for a reason. So don't let the distractions of other people promoting to these ranks and making this money and throwing all this stuff around, don't let that affect you and what you decide to do with your money.
Man, good stuff. Like when you said $800 a month in debt that you had to pay for your, I almost threw up when you just said that. Like to think, I mean, this is honest to God. If I was still working a factory job and I didn't go to college, so like, I mean, I did for 2 weeks, but if I was still working at a factory or fast food or gas station, like the way I look at it is exactly, I'd rather be humble for 5 to 10 years and come out on an ocean with a million, with this house. I would rather do that than work at the factory, fast food, gas station and go, I can't even pay off debt with that income. I can't even begin to touch my debt with that income. So if you, this opportunity, the things you get to even think about doing are such a blessing. I would still be a 22-year-old, like in my own bubble. I mean, I'd be older, but I'd be this just in my own bubble, negative. I'm probably not going to go anywhere in my life person if I hadn't found it works. The opportunities, like even if you're not making presidential pay yet or triple pay yet or double pay yet, the fact that you get to think about, I can do that though. And I'm going to do that. And then when I do that, the things I'm going to be able to do with that. And like you said, give and live a way that you've always dreamt of. So that's good stuff. So the last thing I'm going to ask you, and so this gives people a chance to, if you guys have any questions right now, post them in the chat so that we can answer just a couple of them if you guys have any. But the last thing that I'll do is, obviously you believe in God. You've mentioned him a few times, which is probably why you're where you're at today. But so obviously you love God and you give it to him, but what kind of personal development, because this doesn't happen by just like doing host to post and like loving on your team and like that. No, that's great. You need to do those things. Absolutely. 100%. And like you said, I give daily to my business, whether it's an hour, 3 hours, a second, I give something to my business every day. But the most important thing is like what's in between your ears. Like if you don't think you can, I promise you, boo-boo, you won't. So what kind of personal growth, I know I've kind of heard you talk about it, but we'd love to hear what you're doing for personal development, even just, daily.
Yeah. I'm a huge advocate for self-development. Like, I would not be where I'm at today if I did not do self-development. I usually try to exercise, like go for like 4 to 5 mile walks. And I try to do that 5 to 7 days a week, just so I can listen to an Audible book while I'm walking. I try to do between 5 to 7 hours a week of self-development. And I have my Audible list here. I can read a couple things that I listen to on a fairly regular basis. But one thing that I do, I have tons of John Maxwell books. I have Dave Ramsey. I have Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That was the one that I talked about on the Show Me the Money call. That was by T. Harv Eker. If you feel like you're just stuck at a certain income range, that's the Audible book to listen to. Like I talked to Pam and I was like, for some reason I can't get over like making $5,000 a month. Like that was my number that I couldn't pass for a long time. And I mean, I was thankful for that money, but I was like, I see other people, even people below me, making more than that. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, what am I doing? And she said it was my money mindset. And so I listened to that book and it changed everything for me. Like, I don't recommend that book enough to people. Of course, Rachel Hollis, I love her. Girl Wash Your Face was a great book. Brendan Burchard is really good. High Performance Habits, that's a really good book to read. Let me see. Tony Robbins, love his books. And actually one of them is Money, Master the Game. That is a great one. John Maxwell, Developing the Leader Within You. That's a really good starting book to read. And T.D. Jakes, Soar. That's another good book. I can keep going and going and going. I mean, I can send you a list. I actually have a list. I have lists in my team page for self-development for beginner. So for like newbie. So go for the no. Things like that, like where people are like, that's the first book you want to listen to, because you're going to reach out to 50 people when you first get started, and you're going to get like 45 no's. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get really frustrated. And that's why there's such a turnover in network marketing. Like, people, if their mind is not ready for that and they're not prepared for that, they just give up and it's done. So I get them like, okay, have you read this book? Like, are you going to get into this? The Secret is another huge, huge, huge one. Mm-hmm. And, some people will say, well, I don't know if I like that because they constantly talk about the universe. Well, for me, when I hear the universe, I'm thinking God. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to think about it however you want to think about it. If you're not religious, that's fine. Just think about it as you want to think about it. But I mean, the universe, or the Secret, is a life-changing.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get the DVD and watch it, like, we own the DVD.
It's back on Netflix right now. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you can get it, I think, on Amazon for like less than $10 for the DVD too. And so, like, I watch it with my husband because he doesn't really do this business with me. Like, I build his business, but he can, getting our mindsets to that point where we're like speaking things into existence is huge. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. That's a really good one.
That's the only one I was going to like mention too. That changed The Secret and then The Strangest Secret, just listening to it on YouTube. Yep. Oh my gosh. If you listen to that every day, tell me your life doesn't change drastically. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I did a challenge. I think, I don't remember if it was Denise Walsh or somebody did a 30-day challenge, I think, with listening to that, or 21-day challenge. And I did every morning. It's like 33 minutes or something like that. And I listened to it every morning, or whenever I took my walk or whatever, and I just would listen to it. And it is crazy how important it is you go out into the world, and the world is not like you. Like, the world is not like a network marketer thinks. Like, that's why we're just a different breed of people. And that's why network marketing creates more leaders than any other industry in the world. Because of the mindset you have to be successful in this business. So, like, really, you walk around and you think in your way, but the world thinks in a totally different way, and they're all conformists, and they all change. And they want you to change to them. They want you to conform to their mindset. And it's like, you have to constantly pour into yourself and be surrounded by like-minded people, by people who are like you. And that's why you want to get to events. So, like, getting to events, surround yourself with the 5 people who you want to be the most like. That is huge. Like, I just cannot say that enough, how it's unfortunate, but my friends have changed since I've started with this business. I mean, it's not unfortunate. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, the friends that you feel like you are the closest to might not be the people who you're close to, a few years from now. They might not be good for you. And that's okay. It's just God teaching you and leading you down the path that you need to go, to have that success. So don't be afraid of that either. Like, I did for a long time. It's very weird. I'm a red yellow. I'm literally only 2 points away. Like, if you take the color personality test, I'm 2 points apart. And so it's like, I'm very strong red yellow, which some people are like, how can you be red and yellow? I don't know. But for me, like, yeah, I just care so much about people. Like, I do. I truly love my team. I love everybody. I want everyone to be successful. And so that kind of held me back for a long time, because I was afraid to hurt people's feelings, or I was afraid to like say things that I didn't, just coming out and being that red leader that I wanted to be. But then my yellow fought with me, and it was just like, I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent now, but I'm just saying, like, getting around the people that you need to say, okay, tell me that I'm not crazy when I'm saying or thinking this. And those 5 people that you're meant to be around will tell you what you need to do. Like, they're not going to sugarcoat things for you.
Yep. And I can totally see a red and a yellow. You're like, listen, we're here to get shit done, but you're also like, but I love you so much. Yeah. But I love you so much. Okay. No, so that's totally possible. But I love that you said like the 5 people thing, because I remember starting this business and I was like, oh boy, I'm not, ugh, okay. I don't even have 5 people. First of all, I've got about 2, and they are not gonna make me better. It was like I was hanging my old crew was like, let's just be negative and complain about our lives and like what sucked today, and that's what it was like. And they were lazy. Not to be mean, they're still my friends, but I realized like the more that I hung around people that were making the kind of money I wanted to make, and the people who had the kind of mindset I wanted to have, the people that truly did put God first above all things, I started to become more like that. And then that is why I am who I am today, is because of who I've surrounded myself with. And it was a huge aha when we got done with our Triad event last month. I went out to dinner afterwards with my mom, Morgan Martin, Mary Beth, and Denise Walsh. I was like, this is who I want to be next to eating dinner with. And so it just is crazy. Like, that was a huge aha moment for me, is like, no wonder, it was a power table. And I felt even in those 2 hours that we were there, it was just a power table full of just knowledge and belief. And it's so crazy and powerful. Who you hang out with is really, truly who you become. And so, yes, I love personal growth. And honestly, listening to you say that you take a 4 to 5 mile walk every day and you listen to your audibles, that's brilliant. Like, I work out at a gym where they play music, and it's loud, and it's an instructor, so I can't have headphones in, but it makes me want to just like 2 or 3 nights a week just go for a walk around my neighborhood and make that my personal growth time. So you guys, you can take the time to do it. I know, especially me in the beginning, I was like, personal growth is a joke. So is like going to church. So is like reading books to better yourself. I didn't believe in personal development until I started to do it. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never turning back. But I love that, a lot of people, or I don't love, a lot of people will say, I just don't have time, or I don't feel like taking 30 minutes to an hour. It's, if you're busy like I am, or like Tammy is, yeah, go for a walk around your block, get some exercise. That's awesome. And then also do your Audible, or get in your car and put on the Audible instead of whatever music you're listening to. And it does, it pays off. And when I listen to Millionaire Mindset, or what is it, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind,
Yep.
I've listened to that twice now on Audible in my car, and game changer. It's just a game changer what happens when you decide to do that instead of listening to whatever music you're listening to. So make time for it. It's huge. And you can download like the podcast app, the Audible app. I have that too. You can watch a YouTube video, but the strangest secret on YouTube is crazy. I think I'm going to do a 21-day challenge next month. That's a good one. So, yeah, that's all good stuff. So I don't think anybody else has any other questions, because you've covered like a lot of stuff. It was awesome. So do you have anything you want to close us out with for like month end? I know we've got people trying to go ruby, emerald, diamond, double. Like, we've got some people trying to get some stuff going. So any month end boom tips?
Yeah. Well, one thing is I wanted to add, because of the surround yourself with 5 people, and I think some people on here might be a little intimidated by that. Like, I don't know 5 people who are at that level that I want to be at. And that's where I was stuck too for a very long time. Like, I was doing better than most of my friends and family. Or you just are surrounded by the people from childhood that are not going anywhere, and you want to surround yourself with higher up people. So one piece of advice that Joel's a huge self-development junkie, just like me. We connect a lot on that kind of stuff. But he told me to turn to having different mentors in the form of the self-development. So like John Maxwell is a huge mentor of his and mine now. And then, just using the, people that you're reading and learning from in the self-development books to be one of the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you spend an hour a day with an author of a book teaching you self-development, that's one of your 5 people you're surrounding yourself with every day. So just wanted to add that in as a tip, like for people who are just like, I don't even know who to reach out to or who to connect with. I don't have 5 people. So pour yourself, even more of a reason to pour yourself into self-development if you don't. A tip for end of month. I am doing a boom contest between now and the end of the month. And I am doing, it is loyal customer signed up, or a single order placed by a loyal customer. It's if somebody's auto ship or, order was declined. We have tons of declines in our downline. If somebody gets a hold of somebody and they reprocess an order that was declined, that's counted for BV. We're doing a $10,000 boom contest. So 10,000 BV. And you're counting down from 10,000 all the way down to 0. And we have almost a full week at this point. I mean, I know tomorrow's Memorial Day, but reaching out to the people whose credit cards have declined, I've already had a few people say, oh yeah, I forgot to update my card info, that type of thing. So that is a really good idea. Really upping your messages, upping your contacts, upping your posting, doing like product tester model, product model needed posts like crazy, stories on your Facebook and your Instagram like crazy, and just tripling, quadrupling your efforts. I mean, if you need 4 times the volume between now and the end of the month, you got to do 4 times the work. And so if you're used to sending out 10 messages a day, you should be sending out 50 between now and the end of the month. And that will help you get that volume in, and that will help you fill those boxes to hit those promotions. And it's all about how bad you want it, because I know it's starting to be summertime. Like, we have so much stuff going on right now. I see people checking out left and right, but you guys are here. So that means you want it. And if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. There's no limit to that.
Couldn't unmute fast enough. Okay. So, yes. And like next month, start, what I love is that how you end a month is exactly how you go into that next month. And so keep that boom going. And that's what we do. We do a boom contest all throughout the month, and we have that 10,000 group volume, that we want to meet as well. So that's what we do. And it's so amazing. So helpful. But yeah, this was fire, you guys. I'm so glad we had Tammy on again. And I've just loved her journey because it's relatable. Now don't get me wrong, girl. I love it when I see Alyssa Billieu doing her thing and being Miss Perfect Barbie doll. She cute. But I love her, but I love when I can find people that are relatable. I love when I can see someone who took 5.5 years to go presidential. That's relatable. That's someone who went through the hills and the valleys and the ups and downs, but still persisted, still went. And you had a whole lot of people quit and leave to another company. That's heartbreaking. And for most, they'd go, I'm done. Like, I throw in the towel, I'm done. But you knew what you had your hands on, and you kept going. And you know that It Works is thebomb.com. We all do. So you knew that it was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, it was just when, and it was just rebuilding and having something stronger. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and that God prayed those. I mean, they were supposed to be gone. So it's like, and I know that you know that now, but God, God was like, sorry, not sorry, but, and everything works out for the good. So I've had tons of people quit. I've had tons of people, last minute that I thought were going to help me promote, and they didn't. I've had people say, never mind, I went Emerald, I don't think I want to go for Diamond. I've had people do that, and I still persist, and I still see my volume go up, and that's how I know that this company just works. Even if you have people that aren't, like, this company just works. It doesn't matter who is and who isn't. It just matters that you keep going, and that you're persistent, and that your why is strong enough so that even on the days where people do give up on themselves, you're like, well, I don't, because I still got to do this, because I love my kids. I love my team that is working. They mean more to me than the reason that you just pulled out of your butt. So you just have to know that your why is strong enough to keep going, and have those positive affirmations posted all around your house, especially for month end, because I know a lot of you are going for it. And then watch these Zooms. Watch people speak life. Tammy just spoke a lot of life into us tonight and told us about her journey and what she's learned and what's went wrong and what's went right. And so take that. And then, it's being on a Zoom is great, but it's getting off that Zoom and actually taking action. I love events, but if I didn't leave those events and take action and do the things that Tammy spoke about, Stephanie Dunn spoke about, Joel spoke about, Morgan, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, they're great and they make my heart happy, but do I leave and actually apply those things? Yes, which is why I've been, that's why I went triple diamond. So this was fire, and we appreciate you so much, Tammy. Now I can't wait to hop on the last family call of the month, and if my team wants to stick around, we are going to be doing a power hour, so stay on if you want to. But Tammy, we appreciate you. This was awesome.
Thank you so much, Kim, for having me. And I do hope that it helped you guys and you had some inspiration or just felt like you can do this now. You know, no matter where you're at in this business, you can do it. It's just make it happen and get to work and don't ever quit.
Yep. Yes, that is awesome. We love you, dude. Thank you so
Love you
much. I'm
too.
sure we'll see you again.
Sounds good.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Bye. Bye, Tammy. Have a good night.
You too.
Stay on, guys, if you want to do the power hour. There you go. Okay. She hopped off quick. All right. So, Sienna, you want to do this thing for us? Well, with us?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what we're doing. Did you get a hold of so-and-so?
Okay, so they, by the way, I'm super excited. Some of y'all stayed on. Hold on. So she said, hold on. So Morgan can't tonight, and I kind of figured. She's like, I'm doing my online party. Hold on. Katie said, yeah, so Katie's on vacation. I'm an idiot. I knew that. So she can't tonight.
Oh,
but
Disney.
Huh?
Disney, right?
Yes. But she said she will do one with us. So I'll just, when she's back from vacation, I'll be like, hey, when can you hop on? But she said she has some on her YouTube if you want to have one this week. So either we can go search that real quick, or Sienna, you can do that 10-minute interval thing you were talking about, because I think that was really good.
Sure.
Would you rather do that?
Yeah, we can totally just do that and get some work done, and then whoever has questions with what, like,
Yeah.
we're messaging people or whatever, we can just kind of wing it and go from there. So.
Oh, let me stop the